Oh, wow. Amazing. Now, may gabi, may buntag din na sa inyong tanan. What would it take to bring a real change to Washington now? Donald Trump, bago lang siya nakadaog, pila lang kadlaw, both electoral and popular votes. The newly re-elected president is eager to take a very bold step to restore accountability and serve America. And just few days now, he's making some announcements. And with that, recently he did um, social media release. And there were several points na gingon niya. First is when we look at Washington, many Americans really feel like ang gobyerno is no longer working for the people. And dagan yung mga bureaucrats. Often, they are very much entrenched sa ilang mga positions. And it seems na they are more concerned with their own agenda than with solving real problems, solving the problems of the American citizens. And gusto ni Trump i-address ni siya. And to address this, the president-elect plans to take a decisive action, removing these long-standing officials who are seen as contributing to the corruptions or stalling progress. The goal here is claro kayo, to make the government more accountable and responsive. This is what he means by dismantling the deep state. Tao nga dugay na kaayo na naka-entrench na sa gobyerno. Na dili nimo basta-basta mapahawa kay na sa security of your na dili nimo sila ma-fire out, dili nimo sila dili sila matanggal sa trabaho, and ginahimo lang sila ikaw lang yung balhin. Ma-ombudsman man, but they get transferred from one position to another, but they don't get fired. And the thing is, they have to be accountable. And I think having this kind of program na himo ni Trump, this would really help a lot. And this would dismantle the deep state. And I hope na maupod ni ang mahitabo sa Pilipinas. Kaya kung dili ni sa mahitabo sa Pilipinas, you will have different politicians, president every 6 years. But the people who are there, who have worked within the government for so many years, entrenched, they're the ones who are corrupt, who are really thinking about dili na sa citizenry, the problems of the people, but it's more of them being working for their own agenda, mga bureaucrats, no? Because they are very much well entrenched to their positions. The next thing na gihuna ni Donald Trump is ang key parts accountability plan is ensuring that the president has full control over the government's workforce. And right now, it can be very difficult to hold certain officials na may mo accountable, especially when they act outside their mandate. And to fix this, ang president, he intends to reinforce his power to remove bureaucrats who go rogue. And this would restore the executive's authority over the people who are supposed to carry out the will of the people. And this is his plan for reinstating presidential authority. So, kanang magbinuang-buang nina, tanggal kay, you know what, siya maging captain of the ship. Di, dili niya basta-basta matanggal. He should have the power na anytime mag-rogue man gani ning tawhana ngani, di na kay nanglan og ingon nga ombudsman. He has the power na tanggalon kining official nga ni. Kana lang na usay, he has the power sa mga iyang cabinet. But kanang mga plantilla, he doesn't have sa mga federal employees. But now he will be reinstating that presidential authority, and having that kind of power makes him more accountable, and at the same time making more officials accountable, and they will be held accountable to their positions. Magtinar magtinarong na sila kay ma-reinforce na niyang power. Now, moving on, another area of concern is kini sensitibo kay ni ang intelligence and security agencies, which have come under fire for uh, ginaing ko na perceived bias. And I don't want to talk more about this kay very complicated ni na topic, kay ginaing ko na kining mga AI agencies, kining mga three-letter agencies have been accused of targeting certain groups very unfairly. Unya, particularly daw ang mga conservatives o ang mga Christians, laban ng mga Catholics o Christians gyud, laban ng mga Kristiyano. And para ma-correct ni siya, giingon ni President-elect Donald Trump, his vision is i-overhaul ni silang agency ni and ensure that they are fully neutral, non-biased. They should be neutral and are focused solely on national security, not targeting people, not targeting parties, not targeting religious organizations, but they are focused on national securities and protecting the rights of all the citizens. This overhaul is part of a larger goal of overhauling the intelligence and security agencies. That's number three. Number four, na iyang planong himon is ang issues na surveillance lagi na permanente na ginabantayan, no? Labaw na sa Foreign Intelligence Surveillance or FISA, no? Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, sa mga courts. No? These courts have the power to approve surveillance warrants, but critics argue that they've been misused for political purposes. Gingon gani na niya na basig igamit po daw sa iyaha or sa mga political oppositions, be it sa isa ka side or sa other na side. And he doesn't want na mahitabo na regardless of what political party. And the president-elect wants to put safeguards diri sa FISA, making sure na dili ni siya mabuso and prevent FISA courts too from being used for anything other than legitimate national security threats, ensuring that they serve their original intended purpose. And this reform is called reforming the FISA courts. Grabe, no? Ang pag-overhaul sa sa sistema, sa gobyerno plano ni Donald Trump. And this would really mean a lot. Dito pa lang daan sa pagtanggal sa mga plantilya, no? Make sa deep state, making them accountable, overhaul niya, i-reinstate ang presidential authority, dismantling the deep state kanang mga kuan kanang daanan na entrenched kayo nya dili nagahuna-huna sa citizenry kay na sila kaugalingong agenda munay dapat panangganon jud. Napay kaunom leaks from within the government. Those who have often been used to manipulate public opinion or sabotage policies. And para mahunong ni, the president plans to introduce tougher penalties. Naaga ni magtuga-tuga, mag-leak. And for those caught leaking sensitive information, parehatong ni Agi, na-leak katong planong attack sa Israel, giunsa man to. Aw, kaubo. Dapat kato siya ma-penalize, may balan kung kinsa nag-leak because those are sensitive informations. Muna yung yun, amulik gani na siya, aw heavy ang penalty. This would send a clear message that leaking, especially with malicious intent, will not be tolerated. This action is part of the broader effort to crack down on leaks. Number 7, on areas of concern ng mga watchdogs, specifically kaning Inspector General. They operate na on how they operate. Currently, kaning mga officials they work within the departments and they're supposed to oversee, which can lead to conflicts of interest. Now, by making inspector generals independent, dili sila part of the kanang sa sistema, but they should be somewhat murag third party siguro. They should be independent para dili siya bias. I think I got it right. They're supposed, which can lead to conflict. Dapat walay conflict of interest. By making inspector generals independent from agencies they monitor, the president believes we can create a more effective system of oversight free from bias or interference. And this shift is all about independent oversight for inspector generals para walay influence, walay bias, way dapig-dapig, aw, dili nimo wa muna sa dili maka-influence, dili maka-kuan mo, asa na ba ko? O mo na to. Tanaw sa nato kadali ha. Uy, kamusta din na nakipag-chat? Mayong gabi din na sa mga bay. Number 9, another significant change this proposal is moving federal agencies. Tanggalon sa Washington kay ang Washington magud centralized na kayo. Balinon sa other parts of the country, dili lang sa DC. And ang rationale niya, simple lang. Decentralizing the government could reduce the concentration of power. Dili lang sa Washington, DC. O i-decentralize niya, wala siya blockchain. While also giving other regions a voice in how the government functions by spreading government offices across the country. We can reduce the DC bubble and make the federal government more in tune with the needs of all Americans. And this approach is referred to relocating federal agencies. Dili lang sa usa ka lugar, it will be decentralized. Number 10, next there is an issue of ning revolving door. Kini usap po ni. And I think common po sa Pilipinas, where the government officials leave their positions and move into the very industry they once regulate. For example, DOH, Department of Health, pagkahuman na sila sa FDA. Kung balik. Na sila sa FDA, pagkahuman na sila sa pharmaceutical. Trabaho na sila, CEO sila sa pharma. You know, first they work sa FDA. After that, they become consultants of big pharma companies, or they work at the Department of Health. They become consultants of big pharma companies. Now, the thing is, they have insider people na sila influence din na. Now, muna issue din na muna ginatawag na revolving door. Gikan ka gobyerno, sulod ka pag-retire nimo, sulod ka dito sa private, na kayo mong influence dito sa gobyerno. Gawa sulod. Now, where the government officials leave their positions and move into on the very industry na ilang gina-regulate, FDA, pharma, and this creates conflict of interest. Muna yung problema yun. As this individual may favor policies that benefit the industry, they join. Oh, dali lang nila mahimas-himas ang industry, ang ilang pharmaceutical, kay kabalo na sila sa mga ins and outs dito sa FDA, kay gikan sila sa FDA. That's where the magic is. Naturally, conflict of interest. So to prevent this, the president aims to ban bureaucrats from taking jobs in industries they previously regulate, ensuring they remain focused on the public good. And this is part of the plan to ban bureaucrats from industry jobs. Kalami. Wala na tong pagkahuman nila sa gobyerno, consulting din sila sa private. And last, career politicians are another part of the system. Many believe that this really needs reform. Politicians who stay in office for decades can lose touch with the needs of their constituents. Kanang 2 decades, 3 decades, dinosaur na ba? May examples Pilipinas. Kasi in really, pila na sa katuig din na naaragyapon. And that's the thing. They might lose touch of their constituents because they are there. All they know is naana lang sila dito sa Senate. Ang problema kay ginabutog yapon sila sa tao. And to prevent this from happening, the president is advocating for term limits of members of Congress, which would bring fresh perspectives into government and limit the power of career politicians. This is all about the term limits for Congress. In conclusion, the president plans are all about restoring the power of government to the people, ensuring greater transparency, accountability, and fairness. With these reforms, the aim is to create a system that serves public interest, not the interest of entrenched elites. And question is, could this be a start of a new, more accountable era in Washington? Only time will tell. Lisod kay ni, and we will see how it goes. And if this thing would work, I hope kopyahon ni sa Pilipinas. Kung makopya sa Pilipinas, and it would need a certain Trump-like personality. Kay kung dili, maglisod yun. Doc Anthony, dagang salamat sa pagpaminaw. May buntag, may gabi din na sa inyong tanan. O adun na ko usa ka stream, Drive With Me podcast. Pwede po ninyo to tanaw dito. Nakabutang dito kay celebrity endorsement doesn't work. So, nara na dire, tanaw na lang. Stay safe, be safe. God bless you all. Ciao.